50 years. It's been exactly 50 years since humans set foot on the moon. Apollo 17 concluded in December 1972. Since then, no human has ventured beyond low Earth orbit. We've lived on space stations, we've launched satellites, we've sent robots to Mars, but we haven't gone back to the moon. Until now. In 2026, that changes. Artemis II will carry 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon. They won't land, not yet, but they'll loop around the lunar far side, passing just 185 kilometers above the surface, and then they'll come home. This sounds simple. It's not. Artemis II is one of the most complex space missions in human history. The Space Launch System, SLS, is the most powerful rocket ever built. The Orion spacecraft is the most advanced crewed vehicle ever designed. 10 days in deep space. Life support systems, radiation protection, navigation, communications, all will be tested. Because Artemis II is a rehearsal. For Artemis III, planned for 2027, which will land astronauts at the moon's south pole. And beyond that, permanent lunar bases, journeys to Mars, humanity spreading across the solar system. It all starts with Artemis II, February 6, 2026. Kennedy Space Center, Launch Complex 39B. 4 astronauts, 1 rocket, and humanity's return. Welcome to Artemis. The moon is waiting. The Artemis program is NASA's plan for sustainable lunar exploration. Unlike Apollo, which was about planting flags and coming home, Artemis is about staying. A space station in lunar orbit, the Lunar Gateway. Permanent bases on the lunar surface, scientific research, resource extraction, and eventually, a stepping stone to Mars. Apollo was a 1960s Cold War race, beat the Soviets, prove superiority. Artemis is different. This time there's international collaboration. The European Space Agency, Canada, Japan, all participating. And the goal isn't just to visit, but to inhabit. The name is meaningful. Apollo was the Greek god of the sun. Artemis was his twin sister, goddess of the moon. And the Artemis II crew reflects diversity. Reid Wiseman is commander. Victor Glover is pilot and the first black astronaut to travel to the moon. Christina Koch is mission specialist and the first woman to venture into deep space. Jeremy Hansen, from the Canadian Space Agency, is mission specialist. These 4 will make history. The first humans to return to the moon in 50 years. And on Artemis III, a woman and a person of color will walk on the lunar surface for the first time ever. But first, Artemis II must succeed. The Space Launch System, SLS, is the most powerful rocket NASA has ever built, the biggest since Apollo's Saturn V, standing 98 meters tall, generating 8.8 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. 2 solid rocket boosters and a core stage fueled by liquid hydrogen and oxygen. SLS can launch the Orion capsule and European Service Module, ESM, into Earth orbit and beyond. The first SLS launched with Artemis II in November 2022, an uncrewed test flight. Orion looped around the moon and returned successfully. Now, Artemis II will follow the same path, but with people inside. The Orion spacecraft is far more advanced than Apollo capsules. It can support 4 astronauts for 21 days, though Artemis II will last about 10. Advanced radiation shielding, solar panels, heat shield capable of withstanding 2,800 degrees Celsius during atmospheric re-entry. And the European Service Module, built by ESA, provides propulsion, power, water, and oxygen. Artemis II's mission profile is carefully designed. Launch from Kennedy Space Center. SLS's solid boosters and core stage push Orion into Earth orbit. Then, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, ICPS, fires, sending Orion toward the Moon. This is translunar injection. The spacecraft coasts for several days, gradually pulled by the Moon's gravity. As Orion approaches the Moon, it performs a powered flyby, firing engines to adjust trajectory and loop around the far side. The crew will see what only 24 humans have ever seen: the Moon's far side, rugged and crater-scarred, and Earth rising above the lunar horizon. A view so profound that Apollo 8 astronaut Bill Anders called it the most important photograph ever taken, Earthrise. Artemis II's crew will experience this again. From 185 kilometers above the Moon, they'll photograph, observe, and test systems. Then, Orion fires its engines again, returning toward Earth. The journey home takes several days. Finally, Orion slams into Earth's atmosphere at 40,000 kilometers per hour. The heat shield glows orange, plasma enveloping the capsule. Parachutes deploy, and Orion splashes down in the Pacific Ocean, where recovery teams await. 10 days, nearly 500,000 kilometers traveled. A crew tested, systems validated, and the door opened for Artemis III, the landing. Why did it take 50 years to return? After Apollo 17, funding dried up. The Cold War was ending. Public interest waned. NASA shifted focus to the Space Shuttle and International Space Station. Lunar missions were expensive and politically difficult to justify. But in the 2010s, momentum rebuilt. Private companies like SpaceX lowered launch costs. China announced lunar ambitions. NASA's Space Launch System development began, and in 2017, the Trump administration directed NASA to return humans to the Moon by 2024. That timeline slipped. Technical challenges, budget issues, and COVID delayed progress. Now, in 2026, Artemis II is ready. The Artemis program isn't just symbolic. The Moon has strategic value. Its south pole has water ice in permanently shadowed craters. This ice can be mined for drinking water, breathable oxygen, and rocket fuel, hydrogen and oxygen. With lunar resources, missions don't need to carry everything from Earth. This makes deep space exploration feasible. The Moon also offers scientific opportunities. Its far side is radio quiet, perfect for telescopes observing the early universe without Earth's interference. Lunar geology reveals the solar system's history, and the Moon is a testbed. Technologies developed for lunar bases, life support, habitat construction, in situ resource utilization, will enable Mars missions. The Lunar Gateway is central to Artemis. This small space station will orbit the Moon, serving as a staging point. Astronauts launch from Earth, dock at Gateway, then descend to the surface in a lunar lander. After surface operations, they return to Gateway and head home. Gateway also supports science, lunar orbit research, deep space observations, and it's modular. Modules built by NASA, ESA, Japan, and Canada will assemble over several years. The first module, the power and propulsion element, launches in 2025. Gateway will be operational by Artemis III. Artemis III is the big one. Currently planned for 2027, it will land astronauts at the Moon's south pole, Shackleton Crater region. This area has near-permanent sunlight on crater rims for solar power and shadowed craters with water ice. 2 astronauts will descend in SpaceX's Starship Human Landing System, HLS. They'll spend about a week on the surface, conducting experiments, drilling for ice, testing equipment. Meanwhile, 2 astronauts remain in Orion, orbiting and monitoring. After the surface mission, the crew reunites and returns to Earth. This will be the first crewed lunar landing since Apollo 17. And for the first time, a woman and a person of color will walk on the Moon. But Artemis II comes first. It's the critical test. Can humans survive deep space radiation? The Van Allen belts protect Earth orbit. Beyond them, cosmic rays and solar particles bombard spacecraft. Orion's radiation shielding is designed for this, but it must be tested with crew. Can life support function flawlessly for 10 days? Any failure could be fatal. Can navigation systems guide Orion accurately? A miscalculation could strand the crew. Can communication reach Earth from the Moon's far side? Delays and signal loss are challenges. Artemis II answers these questions. The crew has trained for years. Reid Wiseman, commander, is a veteran astronaut with ISS experience. He's calm under pressure, essential for leading a historic mission. Victor Glover, pilot, also flew to ISS. He's a Navy pilot, skilled in complex systems. His role, ensure Orion functions perfectly. Christina Koch holds the record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman, 328 days on ISS. Her endurance and expertise make her ideal for deep space. Jeremy Hansen represents Canada's contribution. Though he hasn't flown yet, his training and technical knowledge are exceptional. Together, they're the perfect team. Their training includes simulations, thousands of hours in mock-ups, practicing every maneuver, emergency scenarios, engine failures, system malfunctions, medical crises. They train underwater in NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Lab, simulating spacewalks. They fly T-38 jets to maintain piloting skills. They study lunar geology, preparing for observations. And they bond as a crew. Trust is critical when you're 500,000 kilometers from home. Public interest is building. Artemis II will be broadcast live. Millions will watch the launch. Cameras inside Orion will show the crew's journey in real time. When they swing around the Moon, viewers on Earth will see what they see. The lunar surface, the distant Earth. It's a moment of unity. Humanity, represented by 4 people, returning to a place we left half a century ago. Beyond Artemis III, the vision expands. Artemis IV through 7th will establish infrastructure, more gateway modules, longer surface stays, habitats, rovers, power stations. By the 2030s, NASA envisions continuous lunar presence, astronauts rotating through missions, living on the Moon for months. Private companies are involved too. SpaceX's Starship isn't just for Artemis III. It's designed for reusability, landing on the Moon, refueling, and returning. Blue Origin is developing a competing lunar lander. Commercial cargo services will deliver supplies. The Moon becomes accessible, not just to governments, but to industry. And then Mars. Artemis is preparation. The Moon is 3 days away. Mars is 6 to 9 months. Lunar missions test technologies for Mars, closed-loop life support, radiation shielding, long-duration spaceflight, autonomous systems. If we can live on the Moon, we can live on Mars. NASA's current plan: send humans to Mars in the 2030s. Artemis makes that possible. But challenges remain. Budgets are tight. SLS and Orion are expensive. Critics argue commercial alternatives like Starship are cheaper. Technical delays plague the program. And geopolitical tensions add uncertainty. Will international cooperation hold? Will funding continue through changing administrations? These questions loom. Yet Artemis II moves forward. The rocket stands on the pad. The crew is ready. And on February 6, 2026, history will be made. Again. The countdown will begin. Engines will ignite. And 4 humans will leave Earth, bound for the Moon. For 10 days, they'll be farther from home than any human in 50 years. They'll see sights only 24 people have ever seen. They'll test the systems that will carry us forward, and they'll return, safely, triumphantly. And then, Artemis III will follow. And after that, humanity will stay. The moon will no longer be a destination. It will be home. A second home for our species, a base for exploring the cosmos, a symbol that we can reach beyond our cradle and touch the stars. Artemis II is the first step. The giant leap comes next. But the journey begins now. Welcome back to the moon. We've missed you.